Hello and welcome to Economy of Trust show. Today, my guest is a world-class expert, 42 years in the business of logistics, manufacturing, operations. His knowledge and his network is so much needed for Ukraine. Please enjoy the interview with Gustavo. There's going to be a lot of things happening and just feel his passion. Please support us. Please support the channel. Please support Ukraine. Enjoy the interview. Gustavo, good morning and welcome to Economy of Trust show.
Hi, Henry. How are you? I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking time. So obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Ukraine today. But before we do this, one of the reasons I wanted to really have this interview because of your expertise. And your expertise lies in logistics. You spend your career working in the field. So please introduce yourself and your experience. Why can it be relevant to Ukraine?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, actually, to share that. It's somewhat difficult for me to talk too much about myself, but I have a long career, more than 40 years around. I am a chemical engineer by education. I grew up in Venezuela. I graduated in Universidad Simón Bolívar in Venezuela, chemical engineering. I started in P&G in 1981.
Procter
I did work on the floor, on the plant floor. So I've been, most of my life has been in the area of operations, manufacturing, planning, logistics, transportation, warehousing, handling, all infrastructure work, et cetera, that has built the skills today I possess. But my career in P&G was, I would say, an amazing ride on my life. I had amazing opportunities given to me by this amazing institution. Sometimes I say that I'm a lucky man because I had people that trusted me and gave me responsibilities of a higher level every time. I became an executive at the company. In my last 10 to 12 years, I was the vice president in different capacities across the globe. Along the way, I did work for a lot of manufacturing work. I actually was one of the creators of the pioneering work system of our P&G plants. Has made P&G really important and relevant as a manufacturer. And I also created the planning processes for globalization and for global capabilities for P&G. So I had those great opportunities.
Well, this is, I know this 40 years, but let's switch to Ukraine. Obviously, you know everything there is to know about this industry.
Not everything, but I have great opportunities in the supply chain arena on operations.
So
and I love
the fact that Ukraine has an opportunity with expertise like yours and people around the globe to build the logistics systems of 21st century with the technologies of the 20th century. And remember, Ukraine is a center of Europe, geographical center of Europe, right? So it can really be a very major hub for manufacturing from all over the world that can be brought if the logistics are there. Am I correct? Talk about that opportunity for Ukraine.
Yeah, I tell you what. Let me just say something about the connection with Ukraine in my heart, okay?
Please.
Because I'm not Ukrainian, I don't have roots there, etc. But I have two motivators. Number one, I got triggered by the injustice of what happened. And I simply, from deep in my heart, I hate what is happening. And I think people like us in general in the world should sum up efforts to help and rebuild it. If we cannot stop the war because we don't have the power, we will fight it by rebuilding it, rebuilding it stronger. Second, I do have, in all these years, I have developed this incredible desire to put the experience I collected in 42 years to serve somehow something that is meaningful. So there is a meaningful path forward to help these projects. So my expertise being built on experiences for many years in the area of operations in general is logistics, planning, and manufacturing. And I have a lot of manufacturing to give because that's what I spend more of my time. I'm ready to go and help with whatever way I can.
We are here to take it. We were here to take you after and thank you.
Yeah, transferring knowledge, experiences, and helping people and coaching projects will be amazing. But also, along the way, we develop. You have a network that you have developed of friends and people, connections that you can invite to participate. You know, logistics companies, developers, engineers, suppliers. You know, that hopefully I can really bring in. To help us.
And let's talk about this. So for the companies, Ukraine represents an opportunity for companies not only to do the right thing, as you said, rebuilding Ukraine after the war, but also bring the latest technology and actually test their own new things, because Ukraine doesn't have a legacy problem. So talk about the companies that can take advantage of opportunity in Ukraine and make Ukraine greater. What do you see? How you see this developing?
I really think this is a wonderful opportunity for companies that are visionary companies. If we are companies that they want to make money in the short term only, and that's what they are, that's their purpose in life, then we don't want those players. We probably need a few of them, but we need players that are thinking of the long term value that this whole market in the center of Europe will provide. Ukraine will not be the same that it was. Ukraine will not come from the years of the past history that was a little by little going up. It will need to do a jump start to be competitive globally. So companies like the biggest operators on logistics, the big corporations that use materials that are critical for the development of Ukraine, the universities that we can bring in and help education to have a real boost for the future. Those are the type of companies I'm thinking. I'm not gonna probably name the names of companies, because probably,
please, we understand that we after 42 years, I'm sure you know every player in the country, in the world probably, but let's continue with that thought. Let's continue with the fact that Ukraine today, it's one of the biggest assets that Ukraine has today, its image that have completely reversed. Since for 30 years it was a very different image. Today that image of a country that fights for freedom and democracy, fights for transparency now. Let's talk about the trust factor. So Ukraine, so how critical it is, do you believe, for the companies that you will bring in with our help into Ukraine to be treated completely on a transparent level? Talk about that.
Yeah, Henry, this is such a critical aspect, and this will be in my conversations with the network will be the critical reason why they should consider coming. I am so excited and inspired with the idea of creating the economy of trust and bring along that message that you initiated, and other people are really summing up strength to do it. I really think that will change the face of Ukraine internationally. The work that the parliament, President Zelensky is doing is simply a good example for every developed country leadership, where you don't see that every day. So this is a type of leader and leadership to talk the whole group of people helping him to change, that is changing the face. It's creating an avenue of credibility. And if we really leverage the economy of trust that we are driving here for.
With every transaction, it will leverage it up.
And we will make it transparent and clean, and we will bring the auditors required to make sure that things are really done the right way.
Exactly. And we're also going to be able to, as remember, we're going to be able to demonstrate practically to every stakeholder, every transactions in the deal. And we're going to be unprecedented transparency, I want to urge you to. But let me come back now and ask you the next question. And the next question is much more related to the opportunity of Ukraine, if it's planned from the logistic point of view as a country. So address that critical component of planning of how logistics should work that connects industries and builds societies around those industrial bases with the different parts of the country.
I think this is one of the biggest. We don't have frequently opportunities like that. Okay, in the industry.
That I've been talking about it for years. It's
in the development of countries. Yes.
Yes.
So we have a country here that we can restart rethinking it, even is design with that in mind. You know, and we know that every time there is industrial development, there is socio-economic development, and there is you know, cities that grow and are the genesis of the cities are there. So we have this opportunity to think about this country from that standpoint, create a master plan of a totality of the country, and help the well-intended officers to really drive that prosperity that we very much need and create of Ukraine. Correct. An example for many others around it, and even, you know, it will be, we can make it happen. We can make it really an example to the world.
And this is exactly, Ukraine can become the showcase of where the world should go. And that's, I think that would be beautiful. So coming back, obviously, we understand it's going to be over $1 trillion of some sort of Marshall Plan available for Ukraine. It's an enormous amount of some money, unheard of as well, unprecedented. But those money now will demand for it to be sustainable, to be green. Okay. And that's where the companies can, from around the world, can really demonstrate their latest and best green technologies. Speak towards that, of how important that to be, that process from the design phase to be integrated from green technology point of view.
Yeah, that your question describes the answer perfectly well. So that's why it's so important that we create a multidisciplinary approach to this, because we can design thinking industrially. We can design thinking that you know, the urban society. We can design in many fronts, many different angles. But the beauty of this is that it gives us the opportunity to design in an integrated way. Now, not everything will be perfect because we need to learn, and but having the access to the recovery funds, let's call it this way, and having good intention and people that don't want to just take advantage of the opportunity that money is there, that to me is a secret. I mean, the moment we screw it in the misuse of funds,
it's over.
At that very minute, we can forget about the progress.
It's over.
Forget about all these dreams.
So leading to that, you know, thank you so much for your time today. Leading to my next and last question of today, I have shared with you the program was started by the students of Ukraine, the future leaders of the country, and that supports small business of the country. My question is twofold: is what do you think, how critical it is to support small business now during the war, and also what do you think of the program initiative, and why should people care for it and companies?
Well, the program is first is amazing. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, and I invite everybody that is looking at me right now to, if you haven't, you need to see the video.
I just posted on LinkedIn.
Okay. You need to watch it, and we need to spread it with our networks. Okay. The importance of doing that is helping. It's a little bit contribution on two fronts. One, creating the interest for funding the development and the growth and the initiation and the rebuilding. So of course we need that. We do need that. That's why we're sending the link to people from the tangible economic things. Second is that we have young people that in a fast way, they created this video with a good intention. Yeah. And these kids are the future of Ukraine. And the message needs to get to the heart of the people that either want to do business in Ukraine in the future, or people that really are good citizens of the world. And those kids are a promise. So I think it's very stimulating just to see that it was created, and that we can use it for that purpose.
As you know, those kids created a whole network that's going to be.
It's amazing, no? It is really cool. And then, you know, it triggered in me the desire to also incorporate elements of education into this plan, which I'm sure everybody's thinking. You are thinking it.
You know, we're doing it.
What can I do in that area of education? So I'm thinking about, okay, I can help probably to create across countries education programs that can help us to boost the education, accelerate the education of our kids, in Ukrainian,
And then
put
this
that
was
also
a real life
serve.
education where they learn and go practice. So this is going to be a very different adaptive learning,
Correct.
we call it. So
Correct.
Gustavo, this was phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please support our channel, subscribe to our channel, and please listen to our next guest speaker who's going to be coming next week. But Gustavo, thank you
so much for the opportunity again.
Thank you.
I hope, I mean, we will rebuild it.
We will. Thank you. We will definitely will.